superstar rapper Drake. His name has been implicated in a murder. Joe, that's wild because we heard these rumors a couple years ago, but they got brought back up. Xxxtentacion, that's a rapper from Florida who was gunned down and killed. He was killed during a robbery turned bad. It turned to a murder. I guess he didn't want to give his money up. Some guys was watching him go inside of a motorcycle shop and buy a motorcycle with a book bag with a lot of money in there. And they ran up on him right in front of the car. Give me your shit. I'm talking about Xxxtentacion made one false move. They blicked him up. Blah, 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 blah. Reached inside the motherfucking car and took the bag and got on. His murder was captured on camera. The guys were actually arrested for his murder. You know, one guy said Drake put him up to this. He spent money and paid for them to do this. This was a hit. This was a murder for hire. But people never paid attention to that shit. Them allegations went away. Well, they back up now because this guy got an appeal. You know, he was convicted. Now he got an appeal. He's saying, look, they didn't let me use this Drake evidence. That's the reason y'all convicted me. Hit the like button. Gold on this video, 2,000 likes. Drake. I've been down so long it look like up to me. They look up to me. I got fake people showing fake love to me. Straight up to my face. That guy went from dropping songs like that, going multi-platinum, to his name coming up in a murder case. According to one of the guys who killed Xxxtentacion, an ex-tattoo man, I think his name is D. He said Drake basically put the money on X head. This was a murder for hire. This had nothing to do with him. This might have been the other people that was with him and he didn't know what was going on. But this was a murder for hire. Drake been rapping in his songs and telling people, look, if you hurt this dude, then I'm going to pay you. I got a healthy reward for you. That's what this guy's saying. This guy's saying, y'all looked at the wrong evidence pointing at me. Y'all should have pointed at Drake. Drake dropping songs about killing his man.
Devon Williams, who's behind bars for life for murdering rapper Xxxtentacion, is now appealing his case, his conviction, his sentence on the grounds that he did not receive a fair trial. And this is in part due to what his attorneys say is the exclusion of evidence that pointed the finger or maybe pointed the finger at other people. And one of those people whose name has come up is rapper Drake. Devon Williams, who's behind bars. I do want to ask you this, because this is another part of the appeal. And that is with respect to the testimony of this gang expert, which was excluded in a pretrial hearing. And the defense, my understanding, wanted to call Jesse De La Cruz, who they had claimed, discovered visual evidence that Drake could have had ties to the same organization as a co-defendant in this case, Robert Allen. And I believe the brief states, Dr. Cruz's research revealed photos of Mr. Graham throwing the same gang signs as Allen. And Allen is that accomplice who I mentioned before who testified against his co-defendants. But Cruz also revealed that people who knew Drake were allegedly seen in Xxxtentacion's neighborhood threatening him before he died. The brief reads, social media posts showed these same known Graham associates were seen in Onfroy's neighborhood threatening him just prior to the murder. And then they say even more revealing is this connection that Cruz made. The brief writes, Mr. Graham released a song entitled Triple X with suspicious lyrics. SMS Triple X, that's the only time I shot below the neck. And Dr. Cruz found another connection between the murder and Drake's lyrics in the song I'm Upset. The song I'm Upset contains lyrics regarding Louis bags for body bags. The implication there being that Drake was referencing murder.
This man's lawyer even quoted lyrics that Drake had about a song called, I believe, Triple X, where he was talking about how he shoot below the neck and all kind of stuff. And X kind of died that way. You know, the lawyer said y'all should have looked at Drake more. Drake dropped the bag. They said that it was people that was cool with Drake that was in Xxxtentacion neighborhood a couple of days before he died, stalking out his house, watching him and all kind of stuff. Remember, Breezy cool with Drake. Breezy got into it with Xxxtentacion too because of that Drake connection. Another thing is they say they got visual evidence that proves Drake is a part of a gang that DeAndre is part of. The guy D who was part of killing X. They both was throwing up this gang sign. You see this sign? This sign right here. Now, I just think this is like the 6 from Canada. He throw up the 6. Other people throw up the 6 too. But they trying to say this gang stuff. This could be blood. This could be something else. This is what they saying. They got pictures of Drake throwing them same signs up. They said this is proof that Drake put a hit out on Xxxtentacion. They don't know why the judge and who was presiding over the other case wouldn't allow them to use this evidence. They say they believe if this evidence would have came out, it would have exonerated their homie and made Drake look even more guilty. So now he got an appeal in. He appealing his conviction. And unfortunately, Drake's name got thrown back up in this. I believe they had a gang expert that was going to testify about all this evidence they had against Drake. But I guess the other judge on this case said, nah, we're not going to use that expert. We're not playing none of these type of games y'all playing and shit. We're not going to do this. This guy could be an expert on games, but he's not sure exactly what went on. They got visual tapes. They got these guys walking inside the dealership. They got these guys walking up to the car. Ain't no need to say no Drake. They know exactly who did this. But this guy D saying, look, if you would have listened to the evidence that he had, you guys might have would have thought different. You got to remember, when it comes to a trial, it's 12 jurors. You know, the plaintiffs put their story on the table and the defendant put their story on the table, and then you let the jury come up with what they thought and then come up with a, conviction, whether guilty or not guilty. This guy saying he had an unfair trial because he couldn't put that evidence about Drake up there. He said everybody in the world knew that Drake and Xxxtentacion was beefing. But for some reason, a judge said didn't want to listen to none of that shit. This guy said that Drake put money on X here, and somebody took the money and killed X, and he had nothing to do with it. Maybe them other guys had something to do with it, but he didn't have nothing to do with it. He don't know what went on. I don't know if he capping or just putting Drake's name in this shit, but it's crazy. I wanted to tell you, Drake's name has came up again in a murder case. I want to ask y'all a question. Do you think this dude capping, he on some bullshit playing the system? Or do you think he got a point? Because X and Drake did have a beef. Me personally, I think dude and them did that shit and they bogus as hell and everybody know they did that shit and he finna play games with Drake's name. But who knows? Subscribe to my YouTube channel, tell me the truth.